Hi friends, and in this video we would be covering circular motions. So this would be our last topic in our module for time, speed and distance. Let's see, we have already done clocks, so it would be something similar to clocks, not very different. There would be two scenarios here rather than one, because the two people who would be moving on circular track can move either in clockwise direction, which is the same direction, or they can move in opposite directions, right? That's why we have two scenarios, whereas in clocks we have just one scenario, right? So here is a circular track. Again, the two cases are they move in the same direction, second is they move in the opposite direction, right? So let's take the first case, which is they move in the same direction, right? Now in the questions related to circular motions, usually what you would be given are two runners moving on a circular track of certain length. So length of the track would be given, and then the speeds would be given, right? So there can be uh, 3 or 4 types of questions. Let's go through these questions one by one. So it says A and B run clockwise at 2 meters per second and 5 meters per second. If the length of the track is 180 meters, when will they first meet? So this is a very simple question, right? Since they are moving in the same direction, right, their relative speed would be, it would be equal to 5 minus 2, which is 3 meters per second, right? And they would meet again, right, when they cover what relative distance? This whole distance, which is equal to the length of the path. So relative distance is equal to 180 meters. So how much time would they take to meet first? They would meet after 180 by 3, which is equal to 60 minutes, 60 seconds, right? So after 60 seconds they would meet each other, right? Which means what? Which means if they start from A and B, B being at 2 meters per second, in 60 seconds it would cover 120 meters, right? So they would meet somewhere here, right? Somewhere here they would meet, and now they are meeting here, so this becomes the starting point. Now they would meet 120 meters from here, right? So they would meet again somewhere here, right, for the second time. And for the third time they would meet at the starting point, which is here, right? After that, the fourth time they would again meet here, fifth time here, and sixth time here, right? So in this whole circular path they are meeting at 3 distinct points, if you can see that, right? So this is our question 3. At how many distinct points on the path are they meeting? They are meeting at 3 distinct points, and we are getting 3 as relative speed also. So the number of points on which they are meeting would be equal to the relative speed, right? That's a simple rule. Distinct points. Relative speed, right? So that's a rule, and even we have seen that that is how it is, right? Because first time they would meet at this distance 180 divided by 3, right? So 180th, third part of 180th. Had it been 180 divided by 4, they would have met somewhere at the quarter, right? So if the difference is, let's say, 1, right? So the relative speed would be 180 by 4, right? Which means how much? So it would be 45 seconds, right? 45 seconds. So B would have traveled how much? It would have traveled just 45 seconds, which means point number this one. So B would have traveled this much. After that, After again 45 seconds they would have met here, then here, and finally here. So there are 4 distinct points. This is coming because of the relationship between speed and time, right? We have seen that there is a relationship between speed and time, which is the inverse proportionality. That's why it is coming like this, right? So the next question which is generally asked in the exams is, when will they first meet at the starting point, right? So A would reach at starting point after how much time? By 5, which is equal to 36 seconds, right? So it's 36 seconds. Similarly, B would reach after 180 divided by 2, which is equal to 90 seconds. Now they have to reach together at the starting point, right? So A would start reaching after every 36 seconds, which means A would start reaching at 36, then at 72, then at 36 into 3, which is equal to 108, then at 36 into 4, which means what? Which means 144, and then 180, and so on, right? So this is the time when A would start reaching at the starting point. What about B? B would do it after 90, 180, 270, right? And so on. So the question asks, when would they first meet at the starting point? So whatever is the common, which is 180 here, 180 here, they would meet after 180 seconds, which is nothing but LCM of 36 and 90, right? So this is LCM of 36 and 90. So when we have to find that when they are meeting next at the starting point, we have to just find the LCM, right? So this is case 1 where they are moving in the same direction. Now if they are moving in opposite directions, A and B run in opposite directions, at, let's say again 2 meters per second and 5 meters per second. When will they first meet? What would be the relative speed? The relative speed would be 7 meters per second. So when would they first meet? Would be 180 by 7, whatever it is, that would be the answer, right? It would be equal to 25.7143 seconds. So this would be the answer for this, right? Now how many distinct points would they meet, right? It would be again equal to the relative speed, right? So they would meet at 7 distinct points. Again you can just check, right? If you want to see that at what are the distinct points they are meeting at, is you just multiply the first time they meet 43 by the lower speed. So firstly they would meet at 51.4286 meters from the starting point, right? So if this is 90, this one is 90 here, right? This is 45. What we got was 51 point something, right? 51.42. So they would meet somewhere here, right? For the first time it is 51.42. Next time they would meet is 51.42 from here, right? So somewhere here they would meet. So if you just check, they would meet somewhere here, right? Somewhere here, which is 102 point something, 102.84 from starting position, right? And again they would start from here and meet at some other point. So if you just check, you would find that there would be 7 distinct points where they would meet, right? The next question which generally is asked in the exam is, at what time they would meet at the starting point, right? So again we would find the time when when they meet at the starting point, right? So A would go at the starting point at 36th second, B would go at the starting point at 90th second, right? So when would they again together meet at the starting point? It would again be the same, which is 180th second, right? So these are the two cases which are generally asked in relative speed. I hope that you understood both the cases and you would be able to solve majority of the questions, right? With practice, the questions can be a little bit tweaked, but that would only be aced with practice, right? So there would be few questions on circular motions and clocks when we make an assignment sheet. I hope that you would be able to do most of them. Thanks for watching this video and all the best for your preparation.